Hey everyone, it's Noor and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you ladies how to get real princess treatment. So stay tuned for the whole video because there are a lot of important information that you don't want to miss out on. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Now the first thing you need to know is the only way to get princess treatment is by being with a prince. Because here's the thing everyone, you cannot expect yourself to get princess treatment unless you're getting it from a prince. That's just like unrealistic. It's called princess treatment for a reason because the other person needs to be qualified to give you that treatment, and that person is a man of God. Now for the ones who are asking, what is a man of God? What do you mean by man of God? So a man of God is somebody that knows how to treat a woman because he's getting his direction and answers from God. So before he starts treating you, all he's doing is getting the answers from God because God is the only one that knows your value and knows how you need to be treated. And here's what you need to know. A man of God will open up his Bible and ask God, how does God want me to treat my woman? And if we look at the Bible, what does it say? Husbands, love your wives and do not be harsh with them. This is one of the scriptures that a man of God can abide by. Another scripture is husbands, live with your wives in an understanding way, showing honor to the women so that your prayers may not be hindered. So you get the point. A man of God will treat you with love, honor, and kindness, and this is the type of man you should be waiting for. In order to be with a man of God, your heart should be hidden in God first. Just like Maya Angelou once said, a woman's heart should be so hidden in God that a man has to seek him just to find her. And the reason why your heart should be so hidden in God is because God will translate that value to the man that is seeking him. And the beautiful thing about this is that when your heart is hidden in God, you're directly gonna cancel out all the guys that don't deserve you and all the guys that aren't qualified. Because here's the thing, those guys that aren't getting their lead and answers from God, they won't know how to treat you. And they will show you that by the way they're acting towards you, how they're behaving, how they're treating you. They're not going to treat you well, and that is a win-win for you because a man that deserves to be with you, a man of God, will know exactly how to treat you and how to keep you. And those guys that aren't getting their lead from God, you need to forget about that because they will lead you astray. You know, how do you expect somebody to know how to lead you if he doesn't even have a source of direction? If you do, let's say, come across a man who isn't a prince yet, you know, who isn't a man of God, then you shouldn't be the one trying to fix him. Don't try to piece him together, you know, because I know there are a lot of women, and I fell into that trap myself. If they see a man that has potential, but they're not necessarily where they should be, they try to fix that man. But I'm here to tell you, you shouldn't be doing that, you know. Of course, enlighten him, advise him, you know, tell him about God, but it is not your job to be Bob the Builder. Don't be Bob the Builder. Don't try to sew a man together to be a prince. If he's not qualified, he's not qualified, and that's what you need to look at. You need to look at who he is right now. Do not be looking at what he could be or what he should be. No, we're looking at what we're seeing in front of us. And I'm telling you from experience, I was at the lowest point in my life when I tried to fix a man that wasn't even qualified to begin with. And the beautiful thing about this is that God has shown me multiple times that that man didn't deserve me and was not for me. You know, we were not meant to be with each other, but I was so dedicated to fix that man that I was just losing pieces of myself. I was very upset all the time, and I really couldn't be the princess that I deserved to be because somebody else is pulling me down. And this is what you need to understand. Your mission is to put your heart in God's hands, and then the right man will seek him to find you. Now another thing you need to know is that a princess doesn't look for a prince, the prince looks for the princess. Now before we dig deeper into this part, I mean it in all the ways. Whether you are already with a guy, you shouldn't be the one telling him or showing him how to treat you. He should instantly know how to treat you because remember, a prince knows how to treat his princess. You don't need to go out of your way to do that for him. And if he doesn't do that, he clearly isn't your husband. I don't like how girls try to tell their man how to treat them and try to show them like why. No, honey, we don't do that here. You are are a princess, and a princess doesn't go out of her way to be a teacher. If you're trying to teach somebody, that's you being a teacher. So do you want to be a teacher or do you want to be a princess? Because a princess observes what's going on, and if her man isn't giving her what she deserves, then she respectfully declines him. Now, to be realistic, you can only have one pass. You know, it's like you giving him the benefit of the doubt. You know, I always like to do that, even though it's like deep in my mind, I know that it's not gonna change, but I like to do that just for the sake that we're human beings. So you can always voice out if there's something bothering you or he did something you don't like, voice it out once only. That's it. And if he still doesn't do it, bye, okay? So let him go, because he is clearly not your husband. Because I'm being very honest with you, if the first time he didn't understand, then this is where you start to become a teacher, and we don't want to be teachers, you know? The man needs to be qualified. I'm sorry. You don't like that? Too bad. You know, we're not here to teach you. You need to come ready and welcome. If you're single, just like Cinderella, you shouldn't be going out of your way to find a man. The man should come and find you. And I'm telling you, if he is the man that is for you, he will treat you so well when he finds you, because he found you through God. And the reason why I say he should find you and not the other way around is because this is what God made men to do. God made men to chase from the beginning of times. It literally says in the Bible, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. It never says he who finds a husband finds a good thing, because the man needs to find the treasure, which is you, as you're the prize. So let the man find you, and this is why you have to wait for that man. You need to wait for the man that deserves you and that God wants for you. And no matter how long it takes, you just have to wait, and this is where faith comes in handy. So a mentality that really helped me is anytime that I come across a man who isn't giving me what I deserve, I just get into that mentality where I'm like, why would I get sad over somebody that isn't my husband? Well, clearly it ended for a reason. Clearly he was hurting me. Clearly I was at the lowest point in my life. Clearly it wasn't working out. So why would I get sad over somebody that isn't my husband? Do you get me? So always have that mentality whenever you meet somebody and it doesn't work out. Cool. Don't get sad over it. This is the last thing you should do, because he's not your husband. You should rejoice. You should say yes, because that guy was literally in between you and your future husband. So thank God now the road is clear. So when that guy goes out of the equation, this is when you'll allow the blessing that God has for you. Now, the next thing you should know in order to receive princess treatment is that a princess is open to receiving her crown. This is for all the women who have resistance receiving stuff. Let's say somebody wants to give you a gift, or somebody wants to offer something, and you're like, no, I can take care of my... No, you decline it. Then you need to stop that. Because if a man in your life wants to do stuff for you and wants to provide an offer for you, but you're always declining it or feeling as though you don't deserve it, or that somebody else deserves it more than you, then I'm here to tell you that it's gonna be really hard getting that princess treatment. And the reason why is because you don't feel like you deserve it. You know, you're not accepting it, you're rejecting it. It's like a gift, literally. When somebody gives you a gift, the only way you'll receive it and you'll be able to experience that gift is if you accept it. But if you're not accepting it, you're always rejecting it, you're not allowing yourself to experience it because you feel like you don't deserve it. And a solution to change that is by you looking at yourself and realizing that you are worth it. You do deserve it. And that anything that these men are trying to do for you, they're just the bare minimum. Of course he's gonna offer me that gift. Of course he's gonna buy me flowers. Why? Because you deserve it. You are that girl and you are a princess. So better act like a princess. Thank you. And the beauty about this is that when you view yourself as a princess, then the men in your life have no choice but to reflect that thought and treat you that way. Because the reality is, everybody that is around you is reflecting how you think and feel about yourself. Never view yourself as less deserving or as if, no, it's fine, I don't need that. Why? Don't reject it. If anything, you should view yourself in high regards and view yourself as somebody that deserves it, and then watch how the man in your life will view you and treat you in high regards too. Now, the next thing you need to know is that a princess has standards and doesn't settle for anything less than what she knows she deserves. deserves. In order to get princess treatment, you need to have standards and hold on to them no matter what. And I really mean it, no matter what. And only when you know how valuable you are, then you'll be able to set the standards. And I suggest for you to have high standards and never expect the bare minimum. Because here's the thing, women who expect the bare minimum tend to receive the bare minimum. Women who have high standards will disqualify all of the men that couldn't make it and would only accept and allow the men that are qualified to be in her life. Because here's the thing when it comes down to men. If he sees that you're just accepting whatever, then he's not even gonna put in the effort. You know, he's gonna treat you so carelessly and he's gonna take advantage of that because you haven't set the bar yourself. And I know for some women they may be, no, but not all men are like this. Even if he's not a man that does this usually, you should set the bar for yourself because this is your birthright. And you need to realize that this bar comes with you. You guys come as a package. It's not like, oh, it's me or my standards. No, it's you and your standards. You guys come together. And this is what you really need to understand. If you're wondering why some women get treated better than others, then not only is it just because of who they are with, but also because they have high standards. For example, I see women having standards to receive monthly allowances from their husbands. Am I saying this is what you need to do? No. But I'm saying because they have high standards and they hold on to them, they tend to only keep men who are qualified to meet those standards. If you look at it, the men who were able to provide for these women are men who deserve to be with those women. You know, and this is why I tell you, your standards could be you getting flowers, having the doors opened for you, having a man provide for you, whatever your standards may be. If he is a man that is meant for you and that is for you, he will be able to meet those standards. Now, if you meet a man who doesn't necessarily know what your standards are, then I urge you to voice them out immediately so that once he knows your standards, he can show you whether he's up for it or not. And if he cannot meet those standards, then also goodbye. And a lot of you don't know how powerful and how much your standards can save you. They will do you a big favor, I'm telling you. Because the men who cannot provide and cannot meet those standards, some of them, they back out. They're like, oh, no, I cannot do this. Let me just go find someone easier. I will give you guys an example about me. In both of my relationships, both of my previous exes backed out because they knew they weren't qualified to be with me and they weren't able to meet those standards. They knew that I was a high value woman that deserved the law, and what they were trying to provide were never enough. And sometimes that happened. Now, here's what I want you to catch though. Because they weren't high value men and they weren't qualified and they were clearly not my husbands, they were showing me over and over, you know, that they don't deserve to be with me. Through their actions, how they were treating me, what they were saying, just everything. It was a flop and it was bad. Why? Because obviously they're not high value men and they weren't on my level, respectfully and disrespectfully. And now looking back, I'm like, thank God I never let go of my standards because they literally saved me. Those men took themselves out of the equation when they knew that there was no way for me to compromise my standards. And this is the beautiful thing about having standards. You know, you're gonna cancel out the ones who aren't qualified and that's gonna do you a big favor. So yeah, everyone, that brings us to the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching and I hope this video genuinely helped you guys. Yeah, you know, I will see you guys in my next video. Just make sure to subscribe, like, and comment down below what you would like to see next. And make sure to stay connected with me on social media. And I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.